we had, when we went to pray for the men, we said, oh, can we pray for you? And they were like, all right, okay, if you want. But when we went to see the women and children with the babies and all that, it was the same again. It was like, we don't know, we don't care what you've got, we just want it. If it can help our child get off, you know, out of emergency, you know, intensive care. And I went home, we went back to the orphanage that night, and that night I had a dream, and it was about Matthew 25, and it's about the least of thy brethren. And I had this dream, the words, the least of thy brethren came up when I was asleep, and then I woke up and I heard the words again. And then I went back to sleep, and I had another dream, just about fulfilling the selfish desires of my own heart. And almost immediately I felt as if God said to me, you know, as if he was giving me a choice. What do you want to do? You know, you've got a choice here in life. Do you want to take care of the least of thy brethren, or do you just want to take care of yourself and fulfill your own desires? There was a guy who ran the orphanage, his name was Steve, and he said, and he asked me in 2003 as well, he said, look, if God speaks to you, he said, will you come out to Mozambique and be a chippy for us? And I was like, yeah, no, he's not speaking to me, mate. But good luck with your chippy, you know, search for a chippy. And he said that in 2008 as well. And I said, well, I don't think so. I said, but look, because we went to this carpentry project as well. The government gave a load of land in the middle of nowhere, and they built some houses on it, built a well and a carpentry centre. So I said to Steve, look, I'll draw you a plan out for all the machinery that you want and the layout of the shop and all that. And I said, look, there you go, there's your thing. You know, it's good luck, it's not for me, you know, I'm going back to the UK. But when I came back to the UK, God was, the dream that I had in Mozambique really just kept coming up. And in the end, I thought to myself, well, I've got a choice. You know, everyone's got a choice in life, you know, what they want to do. And I thought to myself, right, if only for 6 months, I'm going to give my life to something that's bigger than me. You know, I've been around the world loads of times. I've done my own thing, loads of adventurous stuff, but going out to a poor country, I think Mozambique was the second poorest country in the world when we was there. Being there and meeting people at their point of need does something inside of you, and it breaks you and in a sort of real humbling humility way. So hopefully, God willing, I'm going back in September and October to give myself for 6 months. I would definitely give myself 6 months to Mozambique, set up the machine shop and that, and then we'll see how we go from there.
Steve said something really important there. Everyone has a choice, and sometimes things are chosen for us, but we can choose how you respond, and Steve's a living example of how he's chosen to respond, sometimes badly, other times much better. And you might be sitting here tonight thinking, oh, well, I don't really connect with much of that in its extremity, but actually you connect with the emotion of it. There's stuff going on in your heart and your mind that says, I know what it's like to trust somebody with something special and for them to betray me. I know what it's like to walk with unforgiveness because I feel quite right to hold on to stuff because things have happened in my life. You know, and you can connect with those things. But Steve says something critical. Everyone has a choice. We've got the power to choose. As people who are created in God's image, God's given us the power of choice. And tonight the invitation is open for us to maybe make the big decision. Jesus, I want to trust you with my life. Maybe make some stepping stone decisions. Actually, I've been really close to this kind of stuff, and I want to start asking some questions. I'm going to choose to ask some questions. For some of us, it might be that we've had this faith relationship and we walked with Jesus for a long time, and stuff's clouded, stuff's got in the way, and we've chosen to do whatever we've chosen to do. And listen to Steve, the good news is that you could be right on the edges of activity, of things that maybe you shouldn't be doing, and God is still there speaking. God is still there wooing. God is still there welcoming. And there's a message of hope in all of this craziness that we've heard from Steve tonight. You might not be on the edges like he has, but you've connected with certain things. And the message tonight is this: there's hope if you feel hopeless. There's strength if you feel weak. There's forgiveness if you feel bound. There's freedom if you feel caught up in stuff. Jesus is there. Steve, I wonder if you've got any kind of like things that you would like to say. Hey, I just want to leave these thoughts with us who are listening to you.
I think the guy, when I spoke to the guy in Mozambique and I said, how did the war affect you? And he said to me, while I was playing hide and seek, the soldiers come in and butchered my family. And I asked him, I said, look, how on earth do you deal with that? When he said to me, I forgive him, that is a choice. Because I've been there with myself. I was going to shoot this guy through the heart of a crossbow. And even though God showed me a vision of me reading the Bible, I still had a choice, you know. And perhaps your life or our lives, perhaps mine hasn't been as bad as your life, or perhaps things in your life haven't been as bad as mine. My life certainly hasn't been as bad as Matey in Mozambique with rickets. But life happens, and it's no respect for a person. It happens to everyone. And one day it might have happened already, but you will have a choice. A situation will come up. And normally I would say it's the closest to you that hurt you. Friends, family, strangers, are out there on the peripherals, but it's the people who are closest to you can hurt you the most. Situations in life, life happens, and you've either got the choice. Will I have hatred and bitterness locked up in my heart, which will consume you for the rest of your life, or will you forgive them, be loving and giving, and that will set you free?
Let's give a round of applause.